Hello, I'm Shane Snyder. Please join me for a brief introduction to the topic of online assessment. This presentation will briefly cover online assessment fast facts, advantages of online assessment, the call for a paradigm change in online assessment, grading, short answer, and essay questions via knowledge structures and concept maps, and we'll wrap up with a conclusion and final thoughts. As online schools increase in number and with increased importance placed on assessment and accountability in education in general, finding effective online assessment methods is becoming increasingly important. Online assessment is becoming popular in grades K through 12 and in content areas such as literacy, mathematics, science, and social studies. In addition, some states are already using online assessments for large-scale testing, such as Oregon and South Dakota. Both are testing for reading and mathematics, whereas South Dakota is doing so per state law, interestingly enough. Other states, such as Massachusetts and Kentucky, are using online assessments for practice and review so students can perform self-assessments. This goes to show how important online assessments have already become. In addition, online assessments can also be used effectively in higher education. When considering online assessment advantages for students, instant feedback tops the list, which might help identify shortcomings in student learning and may positively impact student motivation. Likewise, varied question types and multimedia may positively impact student motivation as well. The use of text-to-speech applications might also help for students with special needs, and likewise, adaptive and dynamic assessments that alter the presentation difficulty of questions might be useful for testing higher-order thinking skills. An important topic worth considering is that online learning calls for a paradigm change about how we view learning and assessment because online learning requires a change in the selection, monitoring, and managing of assessment activities due to the nature of the medium and the media available. In addition, online learning and assessment should be viewed as a system for educating students and evaluating student academic achievement, one that includes the integration of instruction, learning, and assessment as a complete package or system. This might require a change in mindset from simply testing to continual assessment throughout the entire online course. Continuing, a paradigm change in assessment is needed because online assessment should and can be considered a process and an outcome, which equates to assessment for and of learning. Likewise, online assessment should help students become assessors of their learning and progress through self-assessment and peer assessment techniques, and through frequent and comprehensive formative feedback. Finally, online instruction and assessment must balance the requirements of technology, delivery, pedagogy, learning styles, and learning outcomes. Thus, it is important to keep the big picture in mind in the form of a learning and assessment system. One key to the paradigm change in online assessment is via the use of formative online assessments. Formative online assessment is ongoing, incremental, and can be used to adjust facilitation and learning to meet student needs. Likewise, formative online assessment supports learner autonomy by helping students take responsibility for their learning and scholastic growth, by allowing students to perform repeated self-assessments without the penalty of incurring a grade, by providing automatic and immediate feedback. Also, formative online assessment can take the form of practice tests, self-tests, or pre-tests, and can be used to prepare for summative assessments. Regarding the ominous essay and short answer style questions, hope does exist for computer-assisted grading via the use of knowledge structures and concept maps. Knowledge structures are multidimensional mental representations of knowledge and are contained within student essay responses. Those knowledge structures can be identified and converted into concept maps. From there, the concept maps are scored in reference to an expert map written by an instructor or expert in the field, and the number of concept terms are measured, as well as the correct links between the concepts and the number of links among all concepts in an essay response. Also, this technique is useful for group knowledge assessment across multiple students, or perhaps in summative fashion for a single student. Some of the benefits of using knowledge structures and concept maps in assessment is that those techniques could be ported to an online environment to provide automatic grading, which equates to immediate student feedback and self-assessment capabilities. Likewise, essay corrections could be made in an ongoing e-portfolio or blog to demonstrate mastery of knowledge. Finally, the benefits also may include the facilitation of open book exams, which equates to qualitative responses and the measurement of higher order thinking. In conclusion, and with respect to thinking about online assessment differently from traditional assessment, online assessment should communicate achievement status to students, should also provide student self-assessment opportunities. Likewise, online assessment should motivate the learner, identify student placement, and evaluate the effectiveness of instruction programs. In addition, online assessment should also utilize a variety of question types and media, should also provide student peer assessment opportunities. Online assessment should also be performed in accordance with assessment of and assessment for learning. Should also be plentiful throughout the course, challenge students, and provide immediate feedback. In closing, online assessment requires a new assessment paradigm. Online education brings with it new opportunities to learn, but also new opportunities for students to become active and engaged self-assessors, which is key to student success in online learning.